Hello my YouTube friends, welcome to my garden. Today I will feature this magnificent, enormous plant of winter squash. This is just one plant, absolutely huge. And it continues to my Roman garden. I am still figuring out the name of this squash, and you can watch an episode and I provided the link above about me trying to identify the name of this winter squash. A little one is growing, another big one is almost ready to be harvested. The smallest one at this stage of the plant development. Hiding here, the middle-sized fruit. On this side, the plant is huge as well. And since I don't know by what name to order this squash, amazing squash, next time we left this one to ripen for the seeds for the next season. Another big fruit is right here. Today I am going to harvest one of the biggest squashes and prepare a new dish. This new dish will be good for all fall holidays, especially for Thanksgiving. We will now cut this squash. For my new squash dish, I will cut some free leaves or stems of rosemary. I just brushed the leaves and their scent is amazing, very earthy, a little bit bitter, but I just love it because it's so unique. Not only we like our fresh dill, but those caterpillars as well. They are everywhere. Let me now weigh my squash and see how many pounds it is. I try, but there is no such weight because my scale is too small, so I will try to cut my fruit in half and try to just weigh half of the squash. I cut my squash in half, long size, and this is how much the smallest half of the squash is. So the whole squash is more than 10 pounds. We harvested a few squashes already and I prepared many dishes with them. One of the dish is a stuffed squash. I cut this big squash in half along its length, cleaned the seeds and stuffed with meat, rice and a mixture of various vegetables from my garden. It turns out to be delicious. Also, recently I did a soup with squash, rice and vegetables. Also came out to be very delicious. We did pancakes and many other dishes. Today I will prepare a new dish with this half of the squash. I cleaned one half of my squash from seeds, and now I will remove the skin and cut my squash into pieces. So I cut my squash into pieces like that. ingredient that I will be using is bacon. I also prepared fresh twigs of rosemary, cloves of garlic, and a mixture of olive oil and balsamic vinegar. And now it's time to wrap each piece into a piece of bacon. Let me do this and I will come back. These are my wrapped pieces of squash. I did not use all because I did not want the layer of these pieces to be too thick. That's why I used the second dish, not shown here. Now I will put my rosemary twigs, garlic cloves, and wrap this with my mixture of olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I will also add some pepper. My squash is ready to be put in the oven, and I will put it for 350 Fahrenheit. The time depends whether you want it very crispy and very tender or not so crispy. So I will tell you at the end how much time the squash spent in the oven. And while my squash with bacon is in the oven, I will prepare a delicious sauce. For my sauce, I will use sour cream, a lot of greens. It can be arugula, dill, parsley, cilantro, whatever you have in your refrigerator. Interesting component will be pickled ginger to give my sauce an additional tang and zest. I will also add a little bit of olive oil to make my sauce smooth. So let's do and blend all my components. This is the sauce, and you can use your creativity, and instead of pickled ginger, use horseradish or mustard, and also change the consistency, adding more oil or sour cream. So it's up to your liking. The squash is ready, and I just took it out of the oven. It's just sizzling. My family really liked the dish, so they ate almost half of it. Now let me try it. These are the pieces that I will try. It's really delicious. Very soft and tender inside and crispy outside. Maybe I overdid rosemary a little bit. Maybe those who don't like a bitter taste of rosemary should put only 2 or 3 twigs instead of 6 or 7. I did. But in general, very satisfying and good dish. I recommend to do this dish for Thanksgiving.